This is the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM and FM. Jacksonville Beach. 1010XL. Home sweet home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm Brun Musburger, and you are listening live to the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Now, the window world of Northeast Florida fifth quarter on 1010XL. From Hurricane Grill and Wings, San Marco. Covered by Apex Roofing and Contracting. Here are your hosts, Ryan the Hacker Green, Leon Searcy, and Coach Gerald Ingram.
Walker back in as a running back. Play fake. Dropping the throw is Darnold. Looking. Fires it deep downfield. They're going to try Newsome right out of the gate. That ball is going to be caught by Jackson Smith and Jigba for the touchdown. They went right at Newsome. A 61-yard touchdown, a perfect throw by Darnold. Greg Newsome into the game for the first time. They went right at him, and that'll be a touchdown for Seattle.
Frank Frangie on the call, Jaguars Radio, and with that, well, a good Sunday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is the window world of Northeast Florida fifth quarter. We are presented by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Apex Roofing and Contracting. With Leon Searcy and Gerald Ingram, the hacker Ryan Green with you. We're certainly glad you are with us as the Jacksonville Jaguars fall to the Seattle Seahawks 20-12 today. The Jaguars now 4-2 on the year, and a disappointing loss now, getting ready to head to London to take on the Los Angeles Rams next Sunday. Leon Searcy, 7 sacks allowed by the Jaguar offensive line. 33 pressures allowed by the Jaguar offensive line. It was not a good performance today by your position.
No, it wasn't. Absolutely. This offensive line played like trash. Absolutely. And anyone that interviewed after the game should say the same thing. With all the momentum coming from that Monday Night Football game, you expected this team to come and play with some energy, some enthusiasm, some execution, and they just failed on all its cylinders. And just when you're ready to anoint this team, it disappoints you. And I know it's just one game. I know it was an unfortunate game, and I thought they had the maturity for the turnaround because after that Monday Night Football game, there's a quick turnaround. He didn't give them any padded practices. He trusted them to do everything mentally to save their bodies, and you get this on Sunday. So I just think it was a train wreck from the start to the finish.
As we welcome in the coach, Gerald Ingram, again, 20-12, certainly not a good performance today by the Jaguars in that loss.
One group that you knew we could count on each other. And those group of guys were, the 7 blocks up front and being able to, the block and the run and pass game, that disrupts everything. When you want to win a game and be in a game and do those kind of things, you got to win up front. I didn't think both sides played well at times as far as the run game goes, but we have to establish the run. We play better when we run the ball and do those kind of things. If we think we're going to just, pass, it's not going to be us, and win those kind of games. So we got to find a way to get back to what we do, our bread and butter, and attack people and come off the ball no matter what the situation is. And then we got to play complementary football on offense. In situations in the run, and, if they're taking the run away, we've got to be able to be in position, to throw the ball and play action passing, and do those kind of things. But the self-inflicted wounds that we occur with ourselves and holding penalties and, procedure penalties and accuracy throws and not, they made big plays. We had one big play for fake ghost streak, we're not making enough big plays.
Well, there's certainly there's an issue going on, no doubt about that, with the Jacksonville Jaguars today. And I'll tell you this, Leon, look, 4-2 through 6 weeks. I mean, you would have taken that at the beginning of the year, but that's not going to be a lot of consolation for Jaguar fans. You played a team today that was minus 3 guys in the defensive secondary. You were at home, and to lose a game like this, does that almost take away from what happened here on Monday night against Mahomes?
No, it doesn't take away what we did Monday night because that was a monumental feat to beat the Kansas City Chiefs as the representation of the AFC last year in the Super Bowl. But what is disappointing is the fact that this team didn't show up today at home and play with that same tenacity that they played in Monday night. That Monday night football game was a fist fight. It was an absolute fist fight. It was a back and forth. It was this team desired. It was a war of wheels, and this team wanted to win that game, and they found a way to win it. Coming into this game, short week, get your body some rest, get your rehab. There was no real practicing, walkthroughs, that kind of stuff to save your body for the matchup that you had to go up against this Sunday, against a formidable defense that got after it pretty good. And I'm just disappointed that this team came up short. It came up short because of what I saw Monday night. I saw a fist fight Monday night, but that same heart and desire was not in this game this Sunday.
We didn't feed off of each other like we had in the past. Now, I know we didn't have any turnovers, but we only had the one big one last week. But still, like you said, the energy wasn't there. You looked on the sideline, it just didn't look like the same energy out there, the same togetherness, like you said, to fight for something. Even at the end of the game, it's like, we still got a chance to win this game. The defense finally figured out what they needed to do, and they had the pressure. They knew they didn't have enough pressure on them. They couldn't get, they didn't have enough. But when they blitzed, I thought they were real conservative in the first half. Did you? We knew they were going to have Sam Darnold off his mark. But we didn't see a lot of that in the first half. No. Second half, hey, they got no third downs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, one of my big concerns, too, is the offense just looked lethargic. It looked like they just did not have I won't say a desire, but just did not have a sense of, we need to get going. We're down 2 possessions. Let's go. They did try tempo at times, and I thought Liam Cohen said this in the postgame locker room, the postgame press conference, and I agree with it. Anytime seemingly something good happened, there was a penalty. He would gain 8 yards on a toss sweep to Travis Etienne. You'd come back because Anton Harrison was not lined up correctly. The Brian Thomas Jr. deflection for a touchdown came back because Travis Hunter was offsides. You gain 12 yards on a run, it comes back with a holding penalty. Every time seemingly something positive went down, something negative took it away.
Well, that lets you know that we're not a very disciplined team. Those type of games, those type of procedures that we had during those games get you beaten. Guess what happened? It got us beat. You got to be a little bit more disciplined. And listen, I always say this: whatever you allow in practice shows up on Sundays. But this just doesn't happen on Sundays. So I'm saying this has got to be coached. Week in and week out, we see this team, illegal procedures, holdings, lined up wrong, all that kind of stuff. You've got to harp on it during the week. You got to make it a point of emphasis because these type of procedures are getting us beat.
And Cohen said it's on him. He said it's undisciplined football at this point. Let me ask the coach. When you're got your offensive tackle lining up in the backfield and he's not supposed to, you got Travis Hunter lining up offsides. Obviously the penalties or the holding penalties are one thing as well, but the pre-snap just ridiculousness. We've had illegal shifts, and now this wasn't illegal shifts. It was illegal formations today. If it's not one thing, it's another, and it has happened all year long.
Well, like you said, it's happened all year long, and as a coach, you take it upon yourself. That's what you're in charge of. You're in charge of the discipline to make sure that those things are being addressed. And they hurt your feelings because, there are times where we're so inconsistent and undisciplined at times. You'd say, that's a young team that's out there, and, we've only been there, they've only been, together this year. But after a while, you can't keep saying that as the season goes on. I know the Jets are going through it. Yeah, I know these other, teams are going through it. But we were winning, and all we have to do is address those issues. It ain't like we're losing like other teams are and having to address those kind of issues. You're winning and still having to address the same discipline, anxiety issues of being a detailed offensive team and saying, if we would stop hurting ourselves, we'd be so much better. Okay, how long is that going to keep taking? Now, the off week makes a difference. And then each week you self-scout yourself. Now, are they reading what we're doing and running pass? Are we self-scouting ourselves at times right now? Because there are times there I think they're kind of reading our mail in the run game. Now, there's some guys not winning the one-on-one battles today in the run game. But then there's sometimes it's like, okay, all right, it kind of looks like this is what you got.
And we'll get to the phone lines here in a moment at 904-641-1010 if you want to get involved. Let me ask the offensive tackle here, the Anton Harrison stuff. Jawan Taylor, that happens with him in Kansas City all the time, not lining up on the ball. The Travis Hunter situation where he lined up offsides, that might be more an official issue because I know the wide receivers check with the officials. But they were talking about it on the broadcast. Mark Schlereth was talking about it. Is that on the rookie, Jonah Monheim? Is it the center's responsibility to get all the offensive linemen where they're supposed to be, or is that on Anton Harrison?
No, it's two-part. It's the guard. The guard might be too far back. Okay, the guard may be too far back, and then the offensive tackle Anton Harrison is trying to cheat back because he doesn't think that with his technique that he can get to the guy fast enough. So he's trying to cheat a little bit to give himself a little angle to get off on the guy.
And by the way, that was a good assumption because the offensive line didn't get to anybody fast enough today.
Exactly. So
he assumed correctly.
So whatever he was trying to do, it didn't work, okay? Because you gave up 7 sacks. So you might as well get your butt up there and be lined up correctly.
Yeah, and they start to look like an arrow sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought the other side a couple times could have had a gray area.
Yeah.
Because now you're not trusting your technique. You're trying to cheat your technique by your linemen.
And that's the reason why we got beat like a drum with the TE twist today. Because the defensive tackle, listen, the other team has conversations too, okay? So the defensive end is looking at the tackle so deep, and then the defensive tackle is looking at the guard giving up so much ground. He's like, oh, man, we can get TE stunts on there. And they TE stunted us to death.
Yeah.
And we had no answer for it.
Now, look, we have been unbelievably complimentary of this regime. And I will continue to be complimentary because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, 4-2 is still 4-2. And whoever thought the Jaguars were going to be 4-2 through 6 weeks, I'd like to have a conversation with you because you did. You had them 4-2?
I had them at 5-2 by the bye.
Okay, well, that's impressive. Then you're the only person in Jacksonville that did that. So anybody mad right now, just put into perspective, they are still 4-2. But it was a bad day for this regime today when your new corner comes in. And literally the first play that Greg Newsome's out there, his first moment as a Jacksonville Jaguar, Jackson Smith-Njigba goes 61 yards up the seam by him like he's burnt toast for a touchdown. Now, did he think there was going to be a safety over the top? Was it a miscommunication? To me, the only silver lining, 'cause that's a bad look for the Jaguars, the only silver lining is that Tyson Campbell got his lunch handed to him in Cleveland today by DK Metcalf. So he wasn't any better for the Browns, if you take any solace in that. But, Coach, that was not a good look for Newsome on that first play.
Well, from a coach's perspective, I'm going to tell you something. We would have done the same thing, okay? I mean, naturally, that's what you're going to do. But into that coverage, Wingard was wrong. Now, from what I thought I saw quarter coverage there, okay? Now, I didn't think it was play action enough for him to freeze. He hesitated. I think the kid was expecting safety help there because if you have an over post, which there was no over receiver, who's threatening him? It should have been an automatic double on the deep route. You know what I mean? Why he froze, I don't think the corner expected him. He just thought he was getting help. I think when I look at the tape, I just want to see it confirmed what I thought I saw during the game, that it was a safety mistake. Because in quarter coverage, the safety is responsible as a cutter to come down and take the first threat in that area. Okay? He didn't have anybody. He should have turned and they would have had a natural double on the guy.
And it's great work by Seattle because, you see Newsome in there for the first time. Yeah. He's been here less than 72 hours. We're going to go right at him, and obviously that was one of the key plays in the football game. Quickly, because we do this first segment of every fifth quarter, Trevor Lawrence today. Now, again, he got sacked 7 times. So I think you need to take that into account when you assess Trevor Lawrence's performance. But the energy on the offense wasn't great. Was that because the penalties kind of takes your will from you? You do something good and you constantly are moving back. You're getting killed to the tune of 7 sacks. Doesn't take into account how often he got hit as well. That's just 7 times they got him on the ground when he had the football. How do you assess Trevor's performance?
Well, I think Trevor played okay, but at some particular point, as badly as the game was going for you, you still had a chance to win. You got to get over yourself. At some particular point, you got to get over yourself. You got to have conversations on the sidelines, in the huddle. Listen, guys, enough with the penalties, enough with the sacks. Let's go down here and score. We're still in the game. Those are the kind of conversations that you have to have in the huddle in on the sideline, but you didn't have them. And the one thing I respect about Trevor, as badly as he got beat down and the pressure to knock down his sack, he didn't turn on his line. He coddled them. Because I was looking for him to blaze them because they deserved it. He was supposed to blaze them the way they kept up giving pressures during that game. But as badly as we played, as many sacks as we gave up. You say we gave up 33 pressures,
33
and 7 sacks.
pressures and 7. It's
And-
what it's being, PFF.
Yeah, you still had the chance to win. So at some particular point in the game, when you're still in it, get over yourself. All right, get over yourself and try to find a way to win a ball game. That's all I was mad
In
about.
defense of Trevor, the thing that I liked was he didn't. In past years, he would do something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You would see something that you're like, why did he have to do that? Yeah, you got pressure, but why did you force a throw? Why did you fumble the ball? In the pocket and things like that. He's had a history of, blunders. Things just happen to him, and those things didn't happen. But if you look at the two quarterbacks, okay, which one do you want to say is the elite guy? Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played better today, certainly.
If he doesn't have the pressure, you're saying he is the legitimate vet out of the two. Now, their stats are very close and similar, but the deep throws are on the mark.
Yeah.
They're on the money. Trevor's still a slow starter. Balls are high. Balls aren't where they need to be. Balls are low at times. He can slow start at times, and then all of a sudden, he's on.
Yeah.
He'll make some great throws in there, and you'll say, okay, that's the guy who we think he is. Okay, but you look at the two quarters, you say, that's how. Now, it's taken Sam how many places to start looking like, that kind of quarterback. Trevor isn't there yet. And you hope he gets to where Sam is one day.
Now, Leon,
it all comes together.
Let me ask you guys this, and we're going to get some calls here in just a moment. Again, we're with you till 8 o'clock. I'm going to use the Leon Searcy term here, smelling themselves. Were the Jaguars guilty of smelling themselves after Monday night, press clippings, or was this just a situation where Seattle was just simply the better football team today?
No, I don't think they were smelling themselves. I just think that they didn't match the physicality of a Seahawks team that was prepared to win this game today. And you just came off a game where it was the Chiefs was a fist fight. Short turnaround, no padded practices, walkthroughs. The coach trusted them mentally to handle things and then take care of business on Sunday. The team shortchanged them, absolutely shortchanged them. They were out physical for the most. We know we got out physical on offense.
Oh my gosh,
we got out physical on offense.
Got ragdolled on
and at
offense.
times defensively, our defense they battled a little bit, but we were the offense shortchanged them.
And now look, I am a sports radio guy, so by no means am I gonna, when I critique the offensive line, I certainly know where I stand in life on the physicality scale. Having said that, there was a time today, so I'm going to ask Leon Searcy this, who I think can speak to this much better than I can. Walker Little, the left tackle, had a bad day today. And when a backup Seahawks linebacker throws you to the side like you're not even there and then goes and sacks your $275 million quarterback, I mean, is that just a situation where you just never want to see that play again if you're Walker Little? I could not believe that instance. That Little was just thrown to the side like he wasn't there.
He got dish rag.
Oh, my gosh.
Absolutely got dish. That should never happen as offensive line. First of all, you're coming down. It probably was rip protection, all right? Rip protection, you got a guy down here, probably got the back to go outside. I'm not sure. But on rip protection, you got inside of the backer like that. Your job is to power drive him inside. He came out there floating like he was a ballerina and got dish rag. The guy gave him an arm bar, and he flew halfway past the center. You can't have that because you're responsible for that gap. Anything that comes in that gap, you dismantle it, all right? And he did not. You can't come in there floating. You got to have a base and hit somebody with your hands.
That's going to be a tough one to answer in the offensive meeting room.
Yeah, he should be embarrassed.
He's going to be embarrassed on that one. The guys will get him on that.
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
From a coach's standpoint, it's hard, because you spend, after playing a Monday night like that, the NFL ups and downs emotionally is hard. Mm-hmm. It's hard to get up for a game, and just you have this whole build-up, whooping some ass. And then you have a short week. Mm-hmm. So as a coach, you put it on you if you did a good job to make sure they hold the noise down, do everything right, get their medicine that they need, get the rest that they need, get all the new plays that they need, and to get up and play for another game and then to play a game like this, you feel really let down. It isn't the score you're pissed about. Mm-hmm. You're pissed about the lack of intensity that you couldn't get them back at again. Because you knew it was going to be a battle, okay? And you got to fight it. And it took a half to get the defense to fight through some things because they couldn't get the same rush. Now, even though they haven't had the same kind of rush, but they made that area made an adjustment.
Yeah.
Okay? Our area, we felt on offense that, hey, they got a weak secondary, and we couldn't take advantage of it. Now, I saw more Tampa 2 out there than they, I had to see the film more, but I said the safeties look deep. There's more Tampa 2. We thought we'd get more verticals, with a weak secondary. They blanketed themselves in that situation and said, we're going to beat you with a four-man rush.
Heck, listen, don't let KC be your Super Bowl.
Good point.
Don't let KC be your Super Bowl. You got a long season ahead of you. That's what concerns me about it. After what you did against KC was phenomenal, all right? You got a lot of national attention because of what you did. A lot of people said it was more about KC than it was about you, even though you won the game. Don't let KC be your Super Bowl.
We got 30 seconds here because we're going to come back, give out an offensive player of the game, and open up these phone lines. I'm 41 years old. Admittedly, I'm an older 41. Leon, I think you'll attest to that. I will be 42 at the end of the month. But I'm not the young, hip guy that's into the analytics aspect of things. And maybe this is a bad question to ask two guys that are considerably older than I am, but still very young
Not
at heart.
considerably.
Still young at heart. When you're down 14, okay? Stay with me here.
Yeah.
When you're down 14 and you score a touchdown to cut it to 8, I don't care what decimal points say, what analytics say, what this website tells you to do or that bar graph tells you to do. That's nonsense to go for 2. Why do you do that? I just want to hear somebody explain to me the logic of being down 8 and going for 2. Now, it didn't necessarily cost Jacksonville because they never found the end zone again. But had they would have had to go for 2 just to tie it. It makes no sense to me, man.
Coach, you make light of that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
We old school. We can't get
that
points.
Some people like big balls. So I don't know. It doesn't to me either. That early in the game. But, with the score that way is. But if you feel that energizes your team, that, you're taking those kind of chances, like we do on fourth down, I guess it's a desperate move that ends up being a positive move.
It's a great energizer until you get stuffed on the 1 yard line,
totally.
and then 20-13 becomes 20-12. And by the way, do the Jaguars have a kicking problem, Leon? Are you concerned?
Yes. Listen, someone forgot to tell Cam Little that preseason's over. Okay?
Yeah.
Ever since, the preseason, he's missed a lot of field goals. He's got to get his mind together. We're going to need him. We're going to definitely need him somewhere down the stretch. He's missing field goals and extra points.
I'm fine with him now. If he has another bad game in London, there'll be a conversation about that going into the bye week. There might be some tryouts here.
Yeah, of course.
Going into the bye week. So we'll see. All right, phone line's loaded. We'll get to you. It is the Window World of Northeast Florida. 5th quarter. We are presented by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Apex Roofing and Contracting. Speaking of Hurricane Grill and Wings, 1615 Hendricks Avenue in San Marco is our location. They got all the 4 o'clock games on, terrific wait staff. You know about Hurricane Grill and Wings, delicious food. Leon was throwing down some fried pickles a little earlier. Come on out and join us. We can all dwell in our misery together. If you're a Gator fan, if you're a Seminole fan, if you're a Jaguar fan, what an incredible weekend we all experienced over the last 36 hours together. Come hang out with us at Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco. We're with you till 8 o'clock. Phone lines are yours next, right here on the 5th quarter.
Pizza to Tea here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. Where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch? From lunch to late night, only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Stick around after the sunset, and Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Come on, somebody.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in '96? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle Fencing. Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida since 1927. Heck, Coyle has been installing fences since before Emery Bellard installed the Wishbone offense. If you need a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle Fence today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Okay, listen up, team. They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. When customers call with leaky faucets, broken water heaters, toilet repairs, broken pipes, or any other challenge, we'll give them the solution fast. Now, who are we?
Roland Reese Plumbing!
I can't hear you.
Roland Reese Plumbing!
Now that's what a winner sounds like. Customers always win with Roland Reese Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione! Campione Law!
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting!
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice-cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
Brian Wall here with Window World. You know that awesome feeling when you finally find that one place to go to that will give you a top quality product at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you? That's exactly what Window World does. Top quality, energy efficient windows at a great price that keeps more of your money in your bank account. With the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business. That's why Window World has been the #1 window replacement company in the USA for years, selling more than 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. The Window World of Northeast Florida, 5th quarter. From Hurricane Grill and Wings, San Marco. Covered by Apex Roofing and Contracting on 1010XL.
Play fake, pump fake. Fires downfield, got a man wide open. Brian Thomas along the far sideline, touchdown! It was a pump fake. He fired it to Brian Thomas Jr. A 21-yard touchdown pass, and Jacksonville strikes first.
Frank Franchi on the call. Jaguars radio. Trevor Lawrence to Brian Thomas Jr., his first touchdown of the year. Of course, it was all for naught in a 20-12 loss today at Everbank Stadium. The Jaguars now 4-2 on the year. But every week here on the fifth quarter, we do give you an offensive player of the game. That offensive player of the game is brought to you by Universal Roof and Contracting. RJ, let's do it right now. The Universal Roof and Contracting offensive player of the game.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the offensive player of the game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
All right, before people start yelling at me, I understand that he had a key drop. I get that. He also had a 54-yard touchdown taken away from him because Travis Hunter was 1 foot off sides. So maybe those will cancel each other out. But with all that being said, Brian Thomas Jr. on 10 targets today caught 8 of them for 90 yards and a touchdown. It was clearly his best game of the year. And for that, Coach, Brian Thomas Jr. is our offensive player of the game.
Well, definitely he's playing with more confidence each week. So that's a good thing. He took his eyes off the ball in the last one, double clutched it. You know, he was probably thinking about what he was going to do after the catch. But he definitely is looking better than he had been earlier in the season.
Let's get to the phone line. 641-1010. Your thoughts on the Jaguars' 20-12 defeat today to Seattle. Jacksonville now 4-2. They get on a plane tomorrow and head to London, which will be a very interesting game against the Los Angeles Rams. Of course, that's James Gladstone and Liam Cohen's former organization. Let's head up to Buffalo. Let's get our guy Junior in here to kick us off on the fifth quarter. Junior, go ahead.
Hey, guys. I was still on the high from Monday Night Football coming off of that one. But, yeah, you guys said it on the head. They came. I saw, too. There was no fight in this team from the opening kickoff. This team looked flat. And that was scared me. I was wondering, why did this guy look flat? You're playing with no aggressiveness on the field. You just came off a good win, used that momentum to play against the Seahawks, which, again, we knew the Seahawks were injured coming into this game, but there was no fight in these guys. The offensive line where were they today? You know, I didn't believe there were 4 guys rushing Trevor the whole game because it seemed like more, but they were getting to him. Look at 7 sacks, 33 pressures with 4 guys rushing him more times. This offensive line they should take a look at themselves tonight. This was terrible. It was terrible because Trevor didn't have any time. Sam Darnold had more time, even though there was like a second before they got there, but he had that ability to get that ball. And I give him credit, he can get that ball down the field to receivers. And Trevor, like Coach said, is not there yet. They've got to shake this stuff off, clean up what they got to clean up because we need to go in London and beat the Rams. We cannot lose another one going into the bye week. But I'm confident. They need to get that fight back. They need to look at themselves and say, yeah, we got to get that fight back. Talk to you guys next week.
Junior, appreciate the phone call. Leon, seriously, let me ask you, the game-winning drive 6 days ago against Kansas City, the fight that this offense had to get the ball in that end zone, and then to come out 6 days later and appear to not have that fight in today's game against Seattle. You tell me, man, you played for 11 years. Am I reading that correctly? How can you look one way 6 days ago and look completely different today?
Well, I mean, there was no sense of urgency. There was no. You could just tell when the guys broke the huddle. The offensive line's walking to the line of scrimmage. There's nobody running to the line of scrimmage. There's no energy on the sideline. There's no energy on the field. This team was sleepwalking, absolutely sleepwalking, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They didn't meet the intensity of the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks came in here defensively and said, you know what? We've watched the film. We match up well. We can dominate this team up front with the front four, and they did. And we didn't answer the bell. We didn't meet their physicality with our physicality, all right? Instead of us coming out swinging, you know, we folded our tents on many occasions. When you give up 7 sacks and can't run the football, you folded your tent. All right? So that's what I'm disappointed about. We glossed on this offensive line all season long on how well they're running the ball, how well they're protecting. They gave up 6 sacks in 4 games and gave up 7 in 1. You can't have that.
Coach, understanding they were trailing for basically the entirety of the last 3 quarters of play, that affected the play calling when you're down, particularly by 2 scores. But did they abandon the running game too early, in your opinion?
Well, I think the inconsistency of the play, changes the play caller and what he needs to do. I mean, you have to stick with who you are and what you try to do. The offensive line has got to come on. I mean, it's like Leon says, you got to fight. You got to hit people in the mouth. When we have a chance, to call the run, that's their spark as an offensive lineman. A chance to come off and hit somebody in the mouth and feel good about it, and that's what they prided themselves in doing. And they didn't find a way to just hit somebody in the mouth. They were waiting for somebody to be the spark for them. Instead of they've been the spark for everybody. The quarterback has had clean pockets. He didn't have that today. We've had some decent runs here and there. Even when we got away from it and came back to it Monday, there was some chunks here and there. I take those 5-7 yard runs, because guys were coming off the ball and, they were taking pride in it. I didn't see the same kind of pride today.
We miss Hainsey. Just go ahead and say it. Put it out front. I like Monheim, all right? Rookie. He's got an opportunity, a 7th-round pick. He can use it above a little bit more, but we miss Hainsey.
But it makes a difference on the communication.
Yes, communication.
And the leadership inside.
You missed the leadership. You missed communication. You missed the leadership. You missed the toughness, all right? It was on many occasions I'm watching the offensive line run blocking and pass protecting. Monheim was going backwards, all right? There was no stability up front. And that affects the guards as well, especially in the run game when they're running TT stunts and all that kind of stuff. When they're blitz packages, you got to recognize who's coming, all that kind of stuff, the communication. I tell you, the center is there. He sets the table for everybody to eat on the offensive line, what he's calling. So I don't know if there was any miscommunication, but I just know that the operation ran smoother when Hainsey was in there.
I think they miss Hainsey. I also think they miss Brenton Strange because in the running game in particular, I think Brenton Strange, you could definitely feel.
Well, you saw the holding call
on Hunter Long.
On Hunter Long. Yeah. And Leon, you talk about it all the time. As an offensive lineman, if you position block and turn sideways and the ball carrier goes outside, they're going to call you for a holding call.
Yeah.
All he had to do is try to keep his shoulders square. It probably never would have got the call.
I also thought Johnny Munt, it's going to be hard to replace Strange. I was interested how Munt, Long, and Morris would be able to do. We're going to miss Brenton till he's back. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Let's go to the north side as we continue the phone calls at 641-1010. Let's get Ronald up here on the 5th quarter. Ronald, what do you got?
I just think we have to make a concerted effort to get Travis Hunter the ball more involved in the offense. I mean, he's got that thing about him, and I just don't think we're integrating him in the offense as much as we should. And having said that, Trevor, like I said, he played okay today, but as Troy Aikman said last week, he misses the layups. There's always 2 or 3 plays that you like, what's going on. And so if you gave Cohen some true syrup, he'll probably say Trevor's not the quarterback for his system. Now, I'm not putting Trevor down because I want him to succeed. I'm a diehard Jaguar. But if you see how Matt Jones is playing in Frisco, last year with Peterson, it just wasn't going. Matt Jones going to get rid of that ball quick. So some of those sacks, I thought Trevor could have gotten rid of the ball and get out the pocket. He was just standing there. Because most quarterbacks, after 4 seconds, you got to move. You got to go. And I saw that today. You know what I'm saying? He still has those 2 or 3 plays. Like you said, you go scratching your head about it. But like I said, maybe he'll fit his system. I don't think he's the quarterback for this guy's system, but I hope it works out.
Ronald, appreciate the phone call. I agree with you that they need to get Travis Hunter the ball more. I think they need to call plays downfield for him more because target-wise, it's not that bad. Brian Thomas Jr. was targeted 10 times today. Off the top of your head, Leon, how many times do you think Travis Hunter was targeted?
Probably 5.
7.
7, okay.
BTJ, 10 targets. Travis Hunter, 7. He caught 4 of them, but only for 15 yards. I mean, an explosive. You saw what he could do last week. There's got to be reasoning for people that are smarter than me as to why they're not going downfield to him more. Because I think about the diving catch on 3rd down in San Francisco. I think about him mossing the defenders last week against Kansas City. Why you didn't try to get him the ball downfield more today, I don't understand.
Well, I think from a coaching standpoint, you look at the coverage that you're getting. A lot of times I thought the safeties were real deep. So you're trying to create, and you have to create formations. Now, if we were a 3 tight end team with one receiver out there, who would you want on the field? I'd want Hunter out on the field. He's going to be the guy who's going to make the play. He's a playmaker. That's the guy you got to get the ball. So, I think we're seeing that, hey, he's a young guy. He's playing both sides of the ball. Forget that. get him the ball. Find ways to get him the ball. Get in the necessary formations to find a way to get him the ball. Get the ball upfield. I don't care if you got to pack everybody in there, and it's one grenade and they think it's run, but that one guy is running deep, and that's him. Okay? You find a way that he can get the ball. Okay? And I think we'll be better. I think they all will be better in time. But when it does happen, the quarterback's got to get it there. He can't be too long. He can't be too short. It's got to be there. But he is definitely the playmaker.
Yeah, he is. And again, 4 catches for 15 yards, and one of those catches alone went for, I believe, 11, where he made the guy miss. That means the other 3 catches he had went for 3 yards. That, to me, that's not a good use of Travis Hunter and his athleticism. Let's get one more in on this side. If you want to get in, phone lines are open. 641-1010 is the phone number. 641-1010 as the fifth quarter is with you up until around 8 o'clock tonight, live from Hurricane Grill and Wings, 1615 Hendricks Avenue in the heart of San Marco. Let's go to the state of Alabama. Let's get Jonathan in here on the fifth quarter. Jonathan, go ahead.
Oh my goodness, that was terrible. I mean, these penalties are starting to be nonstop. You would think they would learn by now.
You would. That was short and sweet. Jonathan had a tough weekend with Florida State's loss yesterday and the Jaguars' loss. But quickly on the penalties, guys, you and all 3 of us were at training camp where they literally spent like an hour one day. Leon, you and I were looking at each other like, what are they doing? They would go up to the line, and they wouldn't do anything. They were just getting lined up properly. Because Liam Cohen was so mad, I think that was after one of the preseason games, that they dedicated an hour basically of practice, or no, it was at least a 30-minute session, to just lining up correctly. And now here we are in the month of October, 6 games in, and there's still illegal formations and illegal shifts and offsides on the offense. And if you're Liam Cohen, look, you're going to blame the coach for a lot of stuff. Come on, man. You got to get lined up properly if you're a player. You can blame coaches for a lot of things. No. Not getting lined up properly, to me, is not on the coaching staff.
You got to be a professional, bro. You got to be an absolute professional, okay? You're costing the team. You're costing your team momentum. You're costing your team games, all right? I mean, to be making preseason mistakes 6 games in is listen, it's intolerable. You can't have that kind of stuff.
It's inexcusable.
Inexcusable, absolutely. So, I mean, you got to call people out because this is not happening every other game. This is happening game in and game out.
And like you said, it's not personal. Leon and I have been on, different staffs and teams where the head coach took charge. Now, hey, it's not personal, but I may have to embarrass you in front of everybody else.
That part.
Right?
You got to call
people out on accountability.
Out. Absolutely.
And just say, whatever it takes means whatever it takes.
Liam needs to have a team meeting and put the film on, and he needs to have the little red pointer and say, this is we can't tolerate this kind of effort, or we can't tolerate these kind of mistakes. You got to call people out, because if you don't embarrass them. Because let me tell you something. When you embarrass players in front of their peers, they take it a lot more personal.
Well, it's like
they make it a point of emphasis not to do it the next week.
Chuma Edoga today. My man had back-to-back penalties, and Liam yanked him.
Of course.
I guess he was in there for Macari, because Macari, there were some issues. I don't know what was going on there. But you get back-to-back penalties, Liam yanks them. That's embarrassing.
Absolutely.
If that doesn't light a fire under Edoga, I don't know what will. Let's call a quick audible, RJ. Let's do the defensive player of the game on this side. It's brought to you by our friends at Superior Fence and Rail, and we do it every week here on the fifth quarter. Here's the Superior Fence and Rail defensive player of the game.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail defensive player of the game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
I thought, by and large, the defense was fine today with the exception of 2 plays. 61 yards to Jackson Smith and Jigba, where they attacked Greg Newsome, and maybe there was a busted coverage from the safety. And then a perfect throw from Darnold to Cooper Kupp. I mean, Jordan Lewis, what are you going to do? Sam Darnold just made a play. Outside of those 2 plays, I was okay with the defensive performance. Foye Oluokun, 9 tackles, 6 solo, had 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass defense. I thought of the guys out there, he was clearly the best today on the defense. So, Coach, we'll give it to Foye Oluokun, today's defensive player of the game.
Oh, he's deserving. He did a good job. So I thought the secondary did a pretty good job today, other than giving up the big plays. They were there where they needed to be. most of the time.
When people are going to point out the tight end in the fourth quarter that they basically sealed the game, there comes a point when the defense, the will goes. I mean, you got off the field 3 times in the fourth quarter. Your offense did less than 0 with it all 3 times, and then Seattle made a play on you with 2 minutes left.
And again, not to call the young man out, but that was Wingard again. You know, he kind of bit on the corner route, and he got turned around, and it was a hell of a play call. You know, it really was a hell of a play call, and, kudos to them, in that situation. But, I think everybody has to look at this game. I think the coaching staff has to look at it and say, hey, they didn't do a good enough job in preparing them for, the intensity of the game and trying to find a way to win this game when they had a chance to try and win the game. I give kudos to the defense in the second half for making the adjustment. But in the first half, I thought they had a slow start as well. They knew what the task was. They knew what they had to do. They had, as long as you attack this quarterback, he doesn't make those kind of plays.
Yeah.
But as far as third down goes, phenomenal job by the defense.
We're live, Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco. 1615 Hendricks Avenue is our location. They got all the 4 o'clock games on, delicious food, awesome wait staff, tasty drinks, you name it. You know about the wings at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Are you kidding me? We're with you till 8 o'clock, and we're certainly glad to be out here in the heart of San Marco. 1615 Hendricks Avenue. It's Hurricane Grill and Wings. We'll roll on. We'll give you a play of the game, a drive of the game as well. The Jaguars, always not lost, 4-2 on the year, as they now get on an airplane and head to London tomorrow for what all of a sudden is a very big game in Week 7 against the L.A. Rams. With the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy and the coach Gerald Ingram, the hacker Ryan Green with you, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Carolina Jacks in historic Riverside has been named Best Burger in Jacksonville for 5 years in a row. They serve fresh, certified Angus beef smash burgers on locally baked buns with Florida fresh produce. Try favorites like the Riverside or a bacon cheddar. They have weekday lunch specials from 11 to 2 and open Sundays for pregame or postgame. Carolina Jacks is where it's at.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through October 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Eli Little, senior varsity swimmer at Stanton College Prep. Eli is a member of the National Honor Society, the Spanish Honor Society, and the Science Honor Society, and he's president of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Carolina Jacks in historic Riverside has been named Best Burger in Jacksonville for 5 years in a row. They serve fresh, certified Angus beef smash burgers on locally baked buns with Florida fresh produce. Try favorites like the Riverside or a bacon cheddar. They have weekday lunch specials from 11 to 2 and open Sundays for pregame or postgame. Carolina Jacks is where it's at.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what Window World wants you to do. Window World knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to Window World, they can't offer you the quality at the price that Window World can.
And with Window World, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, Window World and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with Window World, and to top it off, Window World windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with Window World. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Fumbled your fender? EV took a hit? Guardian Collision is your MVP with certified expert auto body repair for any electric vehicle. Guardian Collision, they guard what moves you. Visit GuardianCollision.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Putting an extra 60 minutes on the clock. The Window World of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. From Hurricane Grill and Wings, San Marco. Nailed down by Apex Roofing and Contracting on 1010XL.
Hunter motions over there, dropping his Trevor. Looking. Scrambling forward. Now he fires downfield. That ball's caught. That ball is into the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown pass to Tim Patrick of 26 yards. Trevor looked left, threw back right. Patrick made the catch. He's into the end zone for the score.
Frank Franchi on the call, Jaguars radio, one of two Trevor Lawrence touchdown passes today. That one to Tim Patrick as the Jaguars fall 20-12 to the Seattle Seahawks. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we do give you a drive of the game. That drive of the game is brought to you by our friends at Randy Marion Cadillac. RJ, let's do it right now. The Randy Marion Cadillac drive of the game.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Coach, how's this for you? 14 plays, 82 yards, 7 minutes off the clock, culminating in that touchdown strike, Trevor Lawrence to Tim Patrick. That would cut the score to 20-12. Unfortunately, that would be the final points on the scoreboard for either team. But with that being said, 14 plays, 82 yards over 7 minutes. That's this week's drive of the game.
There were some great plays in that drive. You know, there were some really good calls, the fourth down calls, the third down calls. You know, that's the one time I felt the energy of the quarterback. You know, as far as being honest out there, as far as making things happen, and things were about to turn, and you know, we're about to see what we saw on Monday, but it just never materialized after that.
Leon, knowing that you never played in London, I think you played one. Like, didn't you play in Japan one time?
No, Barcelona.
Oh, you played in Barcelona.
Yes.
Okay, so you made the trip at least once in your career. Mm-hmm. The Jaguars obviously do it every year. Now, there's like 30 new guys on this roster and a new coaching staff. You would assume most of the new guys have been to London at some point because almost everybody's been to London in the last 4 years, every team. But this is the first time as a unit that this team and this coaching staff's going over there. Surprised that after this loss, now granted the travel arrangements were already made, but a banged-up team coming off a short week, and now you get on a plane tomorrow and head to London to spend all week over there, that could go one of two ways, right? That could be a bonding, session for the team to heal after this loss. Or that could be like, why are we over here 6 days in advance? I'm just curious your thoughts about them going so early.
Well, I mean, they're paid for professionals, okay? They get paid handsomely to make those kind of adjustments on the fly. No one's going to feel sorry for them. I mean, these guys are making in a week what most people make in a year. So they're expected to – there's no excuses to be made, to be had, all right? So you got to get on the plane after a terrible loss, get over it, shake it off, get back to work. That's what it's all about. Just like when you got wins and you say 24 hours, you got 24 hours to soak, all right, after this loss. Now after we get over the 24 hours, half of it going to be on a plane. You get all that out your system, get back to the business of winning football. That's what it's all about, bro.
And we'll get to that Rams game in the next hour. It is a very important game for the Jaguars. Let's get back to the phone lines. It's 641-1010. Let's go down to Orlando. Let's get Matt up here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Matt, go ahead.
Boy, tough game for the offensive line today. I think, I think Tony needs to take Jonah and, wipe that USC sweet off him and show him a little Dave Weidel nasty. Get him back, grinding today. But really, I want to talk about special teams. I think, obviously – it's a problem with both of the kickers. I think Logan Cook forever has been so dependable to flip the field. In the last, really all year, he hasn't been dependable on flipping the field, and we've seen a lot of bad punts. That's totally uncharacteristic for him. But also Cam Little, I mean, you got to start making these kicks. These games are one-possession games, and you take the ball out of the air at the end of the half by not making the kick, and I don't think we would have gone for two if we made it earlier. And I'll listen to you guys off the air, but you say one more week and going into the bye, but I think you got to start bringing in kickers this week because it's great to make it from 70, but we need automatic from inside 50 because that's going to win us 4 ball games. I'll listen to you guys now.
Yeah, I appreciate the phone call. There's no doubt. I mean, Cam Little, the London game is a huge game for Cam Little. If he misses another kick next week, I do believe at that point there will be kickers coming in here at least to get on the practice squad to put a little bit of pressure on him because it's unacceptable. I mean, off the top of my head, I believe he's missed 4 kicks, 3 field goals and an extra point, and we're only 6 games into the year. Quickly, and let's just do it right now. I mean, because I want to defend the guy. I wasn't planning on doing this, RJ, but since we're going to bring up Logan Cook, every week on the fifth quarter we give you a special teams player of the game. It's brought to you by Superior Plumbing. Let's do it right now. The Superior Plumbing Special Teams Player of the Game.
Jacksonville was built on specialists. Now the Special Teams Player of the Week, sealed by Superior Plumbing and Pipeline.
Coach, maybe I'm too much of a statistician. Logan Cook punted the ball 8 times. 2 were inside the 20. Averaged 49 yards per punt with a long of 61. Why is Matt in Orlando thinking Logan Cook did not have a good game today? I don't know. You tell me. I'm looking at the numbers here.
Obviously it was because of the one. All it takes is the one. And there's a certain standard when we saw our kicker do what he did and we saw what our punter is. He's a Pro Bowl punter. You expect a certain standard and they're not doing it. Now, are they in a slump? Fine. Let's make them accountable. Tom Coughlin used to do this whenever he felt the punters and kickers. He would interject them in practice. So they became an emphasis of practice as we moved the field. So we punted when we had situation. We involved them. We involved the whole team around them. The field goal kicker, he was involved, when we crossed the 50, we either make a long kick, everybody stand there, we cheer him on. If we had to, boom. If we had to, we made noise. So we involved them into the practice to help them, hey, this is your job. You're a professional. We're not treating you like you're an outsider and all of a sudden we ask you to kick the ball. You're part of our game plan and our calling. So you're coaching the emphasis. And then if you can't get it done, then you start to bring in new kickers.
Yeah, I mean, I have much more of an issue with Cam Little than I do Logan Cook. And, again, I do think there's a lot of pressure on Little going over to London. Way on to the offensive line point of the call. I mean, look, in that offensive line room tomorrow before they get on that plane, there's going to be a lot of soul searching in there. You get your quarterback sacked 7 times. You give up more pressures in an NFL game than any team has in the last 3 years. According to ESPN Stats and Info, I saw this from our buddy Mike Duraco. I believe you have to go back to a 2022 game between Kansas City and Tennessee to find a team that gave up as many pressures statistically as the Jaguars gave up today. That's a horrible performance by the Jaguar offensive line. Again, they got to look themselves in the mirror because that's unacceptable.
Yeah, it is unacceptable. And listen, I've been on an offensive line that's gave up 4 sacks. And before the offensive line gets ripped, you got to understand, the offensive line coach gets ripped first. Yep. Okay? TC used to rip, God bless his soul, Mike Mazer. And then Mike Mazer used to come in the meeting room and say, hey, listen, we be down and out because we lost the game. We gave a bunch of sacks. And Mike Mazer would tell us to, wake our asses up, okay? As bad as you feel, I feel worse because I had to sit there and take a cussing from TC about how horrible you played. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to watch the film. We're going to be honest about it. We're going to make the corrections, and we're not going to do this again. And you get your ripping. You get your ripping like a man. You take it, and then you move on from it and don't ever want to be in that position again.
And it's so surprising because up till today, the offensive line was the most pleasant surprise. Now, either Robert Hainsey is the best center in the National Football League, which I don't necessarily believe is the case, but I think Hainsey's stock in the eyes of the fan base just went up significantly because they were pretty good with Hainsey in there. The one game Hainsey misses, and they were just awful.
Well, I mean, as a defensive line coach, or a decent defensive coordinator, if you're looking at the offensive line who's had success all week long, they're looking and saying, him, the center, rookie, 7th-round pick, he's the weak link. How can we expose him?
I mean, but did you notice Monheim being
bad?
Yes, so you did.
I noticed him getting pushed back on a lot of the run plays that we had success with in the last couple of weeks.
All right.
Even on when they ran the TT stunts, he was exposed. He was high, and he's just a rookie. I mean, he's a rookie. I mean,
plus a center can see a good center can stop a lot of things that's going on with the guard.
Mm-hmm.
They can help each other in situations, and you're seeing the inside of the pocket start to go backwards, like Leon said. It starts with the leadership is that guy, and he's been that guy.
Yeah.
Now, if it's quiet up front and it's not the same talk, it's different. And he might have been the guy who brought these guys together.
And you got to remember, if you're watching the game, because I watched the whole offensive line play, the one technique at times was all head up on the center a lot of the times. Because the one's usually in the shade or whatever. So in a lot of the pass rush, they knew that Monheim's struggle was staying high and couldn't stop the bull rush, and they exposed him on a lot of those plays. So, I mean, listen, is Hainsey the best center? No, he's not. But there's a comfort. As an offensive line, there's a comfort of knowing you got a wily old vet in there, that kind of stabilizes everything when it comes to running the pass compared to a rookie.
Let's head out to Normandy. Let's get Dave on the 5th quarter on 1010XL, live from Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco. Dave, what's going on?
Gentlemen, good evening. How we doing?
Wonderful. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm not going to talk about the 10 procedure. Wait, did I say that? 10 procedure penalties? No, I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about the BTJ problem. Okay, yeah, he had 8 catches. I get that. But they were out routes. They were slant routes. They were out of bounds routes. But we're talking about the 2 that he didn't catch, the ones in the middle. When does that become a liability? It's not that he can't catch it. It's that he won't catch it. When do you start looking at that and go, we've got a big issue here? Those were 2 that he gave up on, or he just turned his head because he does not want to get hit. He hasn't been the same since Pittsburgh. When do you look at that and go, maybe we have to cut bait here? Seriously, I'll take my comments off the air.
All right, so apparently now we're cutting Brian Thomas Jr. So how about that? That's an amazing revelation. We appreciate all the calls, and all opinions are welcome. I will remind you that arguably the biggest play he's had this year, the 46-yarder against Houston that set up the game-winning touchdown, last I checked, that was in the middle of the field. He had a couple today that were in the middle of the field, as a matter of fact. So, again, I think we're jumping to conclusions here with Brian Thomas Jr. He was targeted 10 times, Leon. He caught 8 of them. It was his best game of the season, 8 grabs for 90 yards. I get the drop, but let's just pump the brakes a little bit on saying cutting bait with Brian Thomas
No, we're not
Jr.
going to cut bait with him. I guess the callers implying that Brian Thomas Jr. is a little shell-shocked when it comes to catching the ball.
I mean, there was an argument with that about during the Cincinnati game, no doubt.
Absolutely game. But this, I didn't see it. I just thought the one crucial one that we needed, it was a third down. Wasn't it third down, Coach?
Yes.
And if he catches that, we had a little momentum going. If he catches that, we get that first down.
That was
Maybe
crucial. And that's the play the caller's talking about.
Yeah, that's the play he's talking about. He's talking about.
I mean, he's got to come up and make those kind of plays.
Because he was wide open.
It's unacceptable. And, I don't think him seeing that he was going to get hit in that situation like the Cincinnati, he just didn't make the play he should have made and would have made a difference.
Let's head up to Savannah. We'll get one more in on this side. Again, if you're on hold, we will get to you. We're with you for about another hour or so. Let's head to Savannah. Let's get Kevin in here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Kevin, what do you got?
Thank you, sir. You've got the best Jaguar radio show out of 1010. Just wanted to thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
I'm not going to. You're welcome. I'm not blaming Trevor for the loss of the game. However, after the first quarter, he knew that he was going to be pressured for most of the game, or he saw where that was going to be a problem. I mean, sometimes I think every time he was touched, he was sacked. There's times he's got to recognize when to bail out, when to throw the ball away. I mean, there's things he can do besides take a sack every time. And that's been his whole career. He just balls up and gives up or whatever. And also when he ran the ball for the first down, that was so odd that he just dove. I was like, what is he doing? But that and the fact that I thought ETN left some yardage on the field. There were times I'm like, good, that's going to get, 10, 15 yards, and didn't come up with much. So I was sort of disappointed in his running today, too. So thank you, guys.
Kevin, appreciate the phone call. I do think there's a conversation to be had, Leon, about Trevor diving forward. He was asked about it last week. Now, the last time he slid, Azeez Al-Shire ended his season with a blatant, dirty, cheap shot. And since that moment, every time he seemingly runs now, he dives forward. By the way, diving forward, if you want to do it, that's the way to do it. Because if you slide, the referee will spot the ball where the slide begins. Diving forward actually is beneficial because you get more yardage. So I'm not going to critique Trevor for that, but I do think at this point it is becoming very noticeable that he is diving head first, to me, because of what Azeez Al-Shire did to him last year.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and I don't mind it.
I don't either.
I don't mind it either. I mean,
as long as he doesn't fumble.
Yeah, he's not going to fumble.
But the only thing I don't like about it is when you take the slide, you draw the foul. If you go head forward, they say, hey, you're on your own.
Yeah,
you're a running back.
You're a running back. Yeah.
So I mean, what happened to him in Houston? And even Tom Brady said, you got to decide, because of what Mahomes does. You got to decide you're going to get down. You're going to slide early enough. You can't sit there and act like you're going to fake slide or you're going to late slide. If you're going to late slide, you kind of, you put the defense in a bad, kind of put yourself in a bad situation. But that's the only reason I kind of like the slide. You declare yourself down, and if you draw the foul, you draw the foul. But you go head first, you can get a shoulder, you can get a collarbone, you can get a lot of things.
That's
for a quarterback.
No, that's a fair point. That's absolutely a fair point. And I love what we do. And Leon and I are used to these losses, Coach. It's only your second on the fifth quarter. And Leon and I are used to this, the years and years and years of losing and losing and losing. But the last two callers, and again, we love taking calls. That's what this show is. One guy wanted to cut bait with Brian Thomas Jr., and the next one says, well, Trevor just curls up to a ball and gives himself up. 6 days ago, in front of 22 million viewers on ESPN Monday Night Football, Trevor's on the ground. He didn't curl and give himself up. He got up and scored one of the best touchdowns of the year in the NFL and beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. The overreaction to losses is borderline spectacular. And if they go to London and they beat the Rams next Sunday, this will be easily forgotten. We always talk about it being a week-to-week league, and my gracious, is it ever a week-to-week league?
No, well, we always clearly overreact to losses, and we overreact to wins. Yeah. That's the nature of the business, 6 days ago, this team was the best team in the NFL.
To the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now we're cutting Brian Thomas Jr.
Exactly, So, I mean, comes with the territory, bro.
Right, but I will say one thing. From a coaching standpoint, I somewhat see what the caller said about ETN's runs. as a coach, I used to get on my guys for getting tripped up and not kicking your legs free. You know, that, hey, if you get tripped up and you don't get more yardage than that, you left yards on the field. And I have to agree, there were 2 runs there. I thought, hey, if you kick your legs through, you kick your knees through, you know where it's coming from. As you come through the line of scrimmage, it's the reason why you do those drills. You express your knee lift to come through, and you see the great runs. He's made those earlier in the year now, where he brought his legs through an arm tackle and got that necessary extra yardage. Now, that's a spark. Any spark you can get or give as a running back, that's your job.
Well, and there is no doubt that the running game has not been good the last 2 weeks. All right, it was one of the best in the NFL. Against Kansas City and against Seattle, it was bad. Etienne only had 27 yards rushing today, averaging 2.3 yards per carry. So film is an amazing thing, right? You know, you start out really good, and then defensive coordinators, they get the film, and they start seeing what Liam Cohen and Grant Udinski like to do. In the last 2 weeks, the running game has been basically non-existent from the running back position, and that's something that needs to change very, very quickly. Back to the phone lines in just a moment as we enter the 7 o'clock hour. Again, it is the Window World of Northeast Florida, 5th quarter. We're live from Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco, and we are presented by Apex Roofing and Contracting. Come on out and join us, 1615 Hendricks Avenue at Hurricane Grill and Wings. We're with you for about another hour or so. Again, the 4 o'clock game's wrapping up. We'll kind of give you an overview of what all has transpired today. We'll begin previewing what is a gigantic game next week in London against the LA Rams. And your phone calls at 641-1010. With Leon Searcy and Gerald Ingram, the hacker Ryan Green with you as the 5th quarter rolls on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The station that covers the Jaguars day in and day out. WJXL AM and FM, Jacksonville Beach. This is 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? Do you know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. Since 1927, Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821, CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Take Jacksonville with you.
There's no place like home.
Listen to 1010XL away from home.
Oh, but anyway, Toto, we're home. Home.
Download the 1010XL and XL 92.5 FM apps for free on Apple and Android devices.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses, no dry, crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do, stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Need electric vehicle repair? Guardian Collision is expert certified for any electric vehicles. Trust the home team for auto body repair on your EV. Guardian Collision, they guard what moves you. at GuardianCollision.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, I've seen ads for diamonds where you see the words all diamonds certified by IGI, EGL, or GIA. Just what does all that mean?
Frank, it's confusing because those letters represent various diamond grading laboratories. However, it's important to point out that labs don't certify anything. They issue diamond grading reports. The only entity that can certify the diamond is the seller. There's one exception to that, and that's members of the American Gem Society have the ability to certify diamonds through their partnership with the American Gem Society Laboratory. That's because it's the only partnership in the world where an organization devoted to consumer protection through gemological education and ethics has a laboratory built on the exact same principles. We have these certificates at Underwoods, but more importantly, we have American Gem Society certified gemologists that look at all of these diamonds and put our grade and our certification of the diamond's quality on it. And believe me, that's important.
Listen to whatever you like, whenever you want.
I like this.
1010XL on demand. Ad-free shows after the live shows end. Channeled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
Clogged toilet, too much paper, deeper blockages, or one of your child's Hot Wheels could be the culprit. Superior Plumbing and Pipeline and handles toilet clogs fast. If your toilet's clogged, make the superior choice.
Learn more at SuperiorPlumbingJacks.com.
It's the fall savings event going on now at Renewal by Anderson. Upgrading your home has never been easier. Get 20% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. You've heard me talk about the Rolex my grandfather gave me for graduating from college, but there's something else you need to know about Rolex watches from an official Rolex jeweler for over 60 years. If you own a Rolex, probably today more than ever before, if you need that Rolex serviced, you should only visit an official Rolex jeweler. In North Florida, there are 4, with Underwood's 3 stores, and Mayors has 1. Anybody else claiming to work on Rolex has no direct access to parts, and the use of non-authentic Rolex parts jeopardizes your Rolex from both an authenticity and a value standpoint. At Underwoods, we have state-of-the-art Rolex repair shops, both designed and outfitted by Rolex and staffed by Rolex watch technicians trained by Rolex. And best of all, our shop is on premise, so your Rolex will never leave Jacksonville, and our Rolex repairs carry a 2-year warranty. At Underwoods, in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Bringing you an extra quarter of football.
The window world of Northeast Florida, 5th quarter. From Hurricane Grill and Wings, San Marco. Nailed down by Apex Roofing and Contracting on 1010XL.
Play fake, pump fake. Fires downfield, got a man wide open. Brian Thomas along the far sideline, touchdown. It was a pump fake. He fired it to Brian Thomas Jr. A 21-yard touchdown pass, and Jacksonville strikes first.
Frank Franchi on the call, Jaguars radio. Trevor Lawrence, the first touchdown catch of the year for Brian Thomas Jr. Every week here on the 5th quarter, we do give you a play of the game. That play of the game is brought to you by our friends with Performance Painting. RJ, let's do it now. The Performance Painting play of the game.
Now, the Performance Painting high performance play of the game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
That touchdown was one of 8 grabs for Brian Thomas Jr. today, 90 yards, his best game of the year. Unfortunately, it does come in a losing effort. Leon, you go up 6-0, everything's right, and then Cam Little misses the extra point. Is that deflating to have a missed extra point after a play like that?
I mean, it was early in the game. You don't like to see points come off the board, but I don't think the mood of the team was directly involved because we missed the extra point. No, I don't think. It's a big deal because points are a big deal, but that was too early in the game. I don't think it deflated the team at all.
Yeah, between the missed extra point, the missed field goal, and then going for 2 and not getting it, they left minimum 5 points out there on the field that should have been relatively easy to come by, and who knows what would have happened had those kicks gone through the uprights. Back to the phone lines we go. It's 641-1010. Again, live from Hurricane Grill and Wings in the heart of San Marco. Let's head out to Jacksonville Beach. Let's get Scotty in here on 1010XL. Scotty, go ahead. Scotty, are you there? Scotty going once. Scotty going twice. Scotty is gone. Let's head to my neck of the woods, to Mandarin. Let's get Regina up here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Regina, what do you got?
Hey, guys, I really love your show.
Thank you.
Said this was going to, you're welcome. You said this was going to be a big letdown game. And they came out so flat, there at the game. And then the business with these penalties and that beautiful, when BTJ caught the deflected ball and ran it in and it was negated, I just threw up. No, and Leon used to say this. None of these guys came with their big boy panties on. Maybe, the defense played well. Luakon did well. But, it seems, don't know how to win? And I'll take your comments off the air.
Regina, appreciate the phone call. I'm pretty sure, Leon, you said big boy pants.
Yeah,
on.
pants, not.
But the point
not
is still the
bloomers,
same.
Not bloomers.
Yes.
Big boy pants. Yes.
So
I still understand what you're saying.
Yeah. What about that?
Well, I said it earlier in the show. I mean, this team wasn't prepared for the physicality that Seattle was bringing to the table. I mean, they played a physical style of football, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And our offensive line, they wilted. They wilted, absolutely wilted underneath the pressure. I mean, when a team is throwing, if a team is throwing a punch, Hack, you got to throw a punch back.
Yeah.
You can't fold your tent. You can't go in the corner. And for the most part, they did. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't protect the passer. They gave up a lot of pressures. I mean, we couldn't establish any kind of flow of offense except for when we scored the first touchdown. I mean, this is all on the offensive line. The offensive line was pitiful today. It was absolutely pitiful. And if they're interviewed, which I'm sure they are, if they say anything other than that, they're lying to themselves.
Now, all right, Coach, understanding that the team is frustrated, understanding that the organization is frustrated by today's loss, there is one thing, and keep in mind, we're talking to the fan base here, all right? We're communicating with them. Other than Leon Searcy, which, again, I did not know Leon had him 5-2. So, Leon, you might be the only person in Jacksonville that had him 5-2. Coach, when you and I were standing out there the Friday before Labor Day or whatever, as training camp was wrapping up, and if I would have told you, all right, Gerald Ingram, they're going to head to London against the Rams, and they're going to be 4-2 6 games in, I think both of us would have signed on the dotted line for that right then and there. So I think you have to put it into perspective. It's only one loss. Now, it makes the Rams game a very big game going into the bye week, but I do think some of the fan base needs to calm down a little bit with their assessment. I mean, this was a 4-win team last year. You know why Liam Cohen and James Gladstone are here? Because the team sucked last season. And they had to fire their coach, and they had to fire their general manager because they did an awful job. And you bring these guys in here, and before the middle point of October, they've matched the win total from last year. So I think everybody needs to take a deep breath, understand you're 4-2, and understand how big that Rams game is on Sunday. Or am I just preaching something that's not accurate?
Well, the Rams game is huge, and I remember standing there with you, and I would have thought, they had one win, and that was the Carolina win, and that's it. In the NFL, you don't know how things are going to go, injuries and those kind of things that happen with teams. I would have thought that this team would have progressed by the end of the year, would have evaluated and said, this is what Liam had to do to get better, and that's what he did. You didn't expect it to happen right at once, but once you saw it happen, and then you saw how he was handling certain situations in camp and every learning moment, and we're seeing it come together. And the group that we really didn't think was going to come together came together, and that was the offensive line. Mm-hmm. Once the offensive line came together, we said we have hope. Mm-hmm. They gave us hope. Now, all of a sudden, this game happened. It kind of deflated the ball a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because we're only going to be as good as those guys up front. The rhythm that's created with the guys up front to run the ball, to throw the ball, to protect the quarterback. He's had clean pockets like he's never had before. Okay, so there's no excuses for Trevor not to succeed. All those excuses we can throw out the window. He's got to get it done this year. All right, so now we see it, and it's like, hey, he's got time to throw. He's got time to make decisions. You know, earlier in the year we're saying that the skill guys have got to get the pass game together. All right? Now we're seeing that we've got to get back to hitting people in the mouth, running the ball, find ways to run. I don't care if it's 3 wides, 3 tight ends. I don't care what's out there. We got to find a way to run the ball so we can hit people in the mouth, so we can control the clock, play good defense, and make big plays by our receivers because we can run the ball.
And, Leon, I cannot believe I'm being ultra-positive guy here. You know that. I'm never ultra-positive guy when it comes to the Jaguars. And, look, today's loss sucks, right? I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You shouldn't be happy that the team lost. But at the end of the day, as we get further removed from the game, we've been talking about it for about 90 minutes, the offensive line gave up 7 sacks. It was one of the worst offensive line performances the NFL has seen in the last couple of years based on the amount of pressures as well that Trevor got. You missed an extra point and a field goal. You gave up a 61-yard touchdown because you have a corner coming in that's been here less than 72 hours that got burnt because he thought he was going to have a safety over the top helping him more than likely. You factor all of that in. You're playing a good Seattle team. Factor all that in, and it was still a one-possession game with 3 minutes to go. So I think if you just take a deep breath and a pause, you'll realize as bad as the performance was today, and it was bad, man alive, they were still right there for 95% of the game.
They were, but the thing that bothers me about this game is that they were showing characteristics of last year.
Fair. That's fair.
That's the only reason. That's why I'm pausing, because the offensive line had been playing well. They were better, more physical, protection-wise, run blocking-wise. I'm just a little bothered because I saw this game what I saw last year. And I know it's a new regime. I know it's new players and everything like that. That's why I'm pausing, so to say. Because when you're a physical team, you can't fake it. You can't fake the funk, all right? When I was playing with the Jaguars.
You can't fake the funk.
You can't fake the funk.
Love that. You need to get that shirt made.
Can't fake the funk.
Sexy.
Because here's the thing. When I played with the Jaguars, we had to play the Steelers, the Titans, and Ravens, okay? Twice a year. You had to be physical. You had to run the football. You had to be effective, or they were going to you were going to be in a fist fight for at least 6 games within that division, and then the Bengals gave you the business as well. My only concern is that the Seattle Seahawks took it to us, and we didn't have an answer for it. That's what bothers me. And that offensive line, if it has any pride about itself, they've got to make the correction. Are you for real? Are you a physical team? Or you a finesse bunch?
And look, they better figure it out quick. They got Jared Verse this week, and by the way, they have a bye week, and then they have Max Crosby the week after that. So they're going to have to figure this out pretty soon. Let's go out to Yulee. Let's get Cameron in here on the 5th quarter on 1010XL. Cameron, go ahead.
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
So I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but when do we start to be concerned about Josh Allen's stats? Because he's got a half a sack through a third of the season. He had 8 total last year, and he has 17 in the contract year. When does that start to become an issue with the Gladstone era?
That's fair, and obviously Gladstone and Cohen have proven that, you know, people that have done things before they got here, it doesn't really matter. Look at Tyson Campbell as a prime example of that. Coach, what is your thought on Joshua Hines-Allen right now?
Well, I mean, obviously you'd like to see the sacks, but the most concerning thing is consistent pressure.
Now, without Trayvon, people are getting double-teaming
it makes a
him.
difference. I mean, Leon, I'll tell you, when you go back to the Steeler days, and even when we were here with Tony Brackens, when you have somebody on the opposite side, and you got Greg Lloyd, and you've got, the other guy on the other side, Kevin Green, and, you got the edges controlled, and that's where we've been over the last few years, and we wanted more pressure inside. It makes a difference when you can do those kind of things. I think his approach this year has been not to win the one-on-one battles, is to pressure the pocket, is what it looks like. He's had probably more bull rushes this year than I think he's had, in his other years this year, and he was putting people in their laps earlier in the season. And I don't think it was a big concern for him, to come up with these multiple spins and twists and, and just run up the field, and be out of the pocket when you aren't being affected by the people inside, you know, making plays. So he said, all right, I'm gonna close the pocket myself. And hopefully the inside guys will be there. Now, as this season goes on, yeah, let's evaluate and see if he can win those one-on-one battles. You know, and you know, we're still early in this first quarter right now phase.
There's something that I noticed that the Seattle did against us on the right side. They put their best two pass rushers together effectively, and they ran a lot of stunts in games. Or they get. I mean, listen, I know Trayvon Walker's hurt right now, but effectively, you know, you can create, you can decide where the weak links are. And you can put Trayvon and Josh on the same side and see how effective they could be in twist games or pressure games and that kind of stuff. You just got to do whatever you can more so now to put. Because listen, when Sam Darnold had time, he got rid of the football and he made the plays.
He had time basically all day.
Yeah, because we didn't blitz him. We just when we started to blitz him, bringing 5 and 6 at a time. That's when he struggled. I just hate that we waited so long to go after him.
If I was a betting man, I would say there will be another trade, and it will be for a pass rusher.
We need one.
I get the vibe that Gladstone's not the kind of guy that's going to mess around. They got 13 draft picks. There are pass rushers that will be available before the November 4th trade deadline. And if, again, I were a betting man, I think they're going to address that. Let's go out to Orange Park. Let's get David in here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. David, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, buddy.
Just a couple things. I mean, Hunter needs to be involved more in the game. It's just simple as that. Get him involved. You know, I mean, he's explosive when he gets the ball in his hand. He does what he needs to do with this, what they got going now. And then these sideline passes. You know, that ball needs to go downfield because that's going to get you beat every time. Every time. It just needs to go downfield. And that's pretty much my take. Get the ball downfield. Get it to and Trevor. He's holding the ball way too long. I don't know if that's coming from you're not getting separation or he's looking at something. I don't know what he's looking for. I know a couple of times that they was open and he missed them. So just take that for what it's worth. All right. Okay.
Appreciate the phone call. And again, maybe they couldn't go downfield all that much because Trevor was getting killed basically every play. Again, I think ESPN Stats and Info had this. I think our guy D-Rock tweeted it out that pressure based on drop back statistics. That's when you get into some decimal points, Leon. You know how I am with decimal points.
Yes.
But number of drop backs and the number of pressures that were put on Trevor today by the Seattle defense, you have to go back 3 years in the National Football League to find a defense that got after the quarterback as much in any football game as much as the Seattle Seahawks got after Trevor today, statistically based on the percentage of dropbacks compared to how many times Trevor was pressured. We'll come back, more phone calls. We'll begin to take a look a little bit at the Los Angeles Rams over in London, but if you want to get in, there is room for you right now. Final segment of phone calls, 641-1010 is the phone number, 641-1010. It is the window world of Northeast Florida. Fifth quarter, we are presented by Apex Roofing and Contracting, and we are live. Hurricane Grill and Wings in the heart of San Marco, 1615 Hendricks Avenue. Always appreciate the great folks out here at Hurricanes for having us. Delicious food. You know how good the wings are. Great beverages. TVs everywhere. Right up against the patio here is where we are on Hendricks Avenue. A terrific spot to come watch football. And we do hope you come up and join us at Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco. More to do as the fifth quarter rolls on here on 1010XL.
More videos, more podcasts, more Jaguars, preps, and college football. More of everything you love about Jacksonville sports at 1010XL.com.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. You see that new welcome offer? Bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. I think we got to jump on this.
What's John Daly think?
I think you got to grip it and rip it.
Grip it?
And rip it.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Grab your cowboy hat for the Beach Barbecue Bash, presented by Sunshine State Plumbing and Reliable Ducks. Thursday, October 30th. Live music, sizzling barbecue, and Southern Charm, supporting Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida. Get tickets at bgcnf.org.
Put a little hot sauce on your lunchtime listening.
Spicy.
Joe Coward, Matt Hayes, and Leon Searcy. They are XL Prime Time.
Or alarm fired.
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios. Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Yo, E.T. here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar, Twin Peaks. Scratch kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge. Come on, somebody.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Fall is here. The air is crisp. Football is on, and the perfect backyard atmosphere starts with a high-quality fireplace from CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Hey, it's Joe C. Imagine nights by the fire, cheering on your team, surrounded by friends and family. CSS can transform your outdoor space into the ultimate game day destination. Stylish, warm, and built for memories. With several wood, gas, and electric options, let CSS make your backyard the best seat in the house. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
Business owners, are you tired of getting the runaround from your plumbing or AC vendors? Fire them now and call Duck Duck Rooter. Duck Duck Rooter is the trusted partner for some of the largest commercial companies in Northeast Florida. From a professional accounting office that makes contracts and invoicing seamless to highly skilled field technicians who fix the problems fast, they handle it all. Make the smart move today with Duck Duck Rooter. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The drip from a leaky faucet isn't just annoying, it's wasteful. Worn parts or corrosion could waste thousands of gallons a year. Superior Plumbing and Pipeline will fix it fast. When your faucet's leaking, make the superior choice. Learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. The window world of Northeast Florida, 5th quarter. From Hurricane Grill and Wings, San Marco. Covered by Apex Roofing and Contracting on 1010XL.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM, live from Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco. 1615 Hendricks Avenue is our location, and we're certainly glad you are with us. Couple of more callers we'll get to. Final segment of callers. Scotty, Walter. If you guys hang in there, I promise we will get to you in just a moment. Leon, again, I'm trying to be glass half full guy. I don't know why. I mean, it's just a mantle I'm assuming this year. If you were going to have a stinker today, which I think we could assess this was a stinker for the Jaguars, we think they're better than this. We know the offensive line has at least played better than they did today. Today was awful. If this was going to happen, silver lining at all, I guess it was good. It was against an NFC team because the Jaguars entered today 5th in the AFC in the playoff standings. They will leave today 5th in the AFC in playoff standings. So from that standpoint, this will not affect tiebreakers or anything of the sort. Basically the same issue next week against the Rams. You want to win that one a lot more than this one, obviously, but it won't affect tie-breaking scenarios. AFC standings right now, 6 games in. Indy, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo all with 1 loss. The Chargers, the Jaguars, the Broncos, and the Patriots all with 2 losses. But based on things that have happened this year, you actually did not lose any ground in the AFC playoff picture. You did lose some ground to Indy because Indy is now 5-1. But as I'm telling our resident Colt guy, Trent, at the station, the Jaguars have already played their Seattle game. They've already played their San Francisco game. They've already played one of their Houston games where Indy has beaten up on Arizona, the Titans, the Dolphins, and the Raiders. Indy has played a I can't say that. They've played a dog meat schedule for the first part of the year.
Yeah.
It will get considerably harder for Indy beginning next week when they travel to L.A. to play the Chargers.
I mean, all those things that you said, Hack, are absolutely right. Only thing that's disappointing to me is the momentum of the team. After you go from the highest of the highs to the lowest of the lows, and somehow you gotta galvanize this. I'm more concerned about the offensive line. You gotta galvanize that offensive line because they took a butt whooping today. I mean, really. I mean, if I'm in the cut, man, they bleeding right now. That's how serious that is. So you got to get this offensive line back to not without the penalties, without the being in the backfield and all the other kind of fools. You got to get there because if I'm an offensive lineman, and I take this type of ass whooping. I don't want to ever feel like this again. And the offensive line was your strong point of the team. Shoot, last week I had them as the MVP as well as they played over the last couple of weeks. So they got to get back to the business of playing smart, playing physical, and being a lot more talented than they played this Sunday.
And, Coach, they got whipped on the line of scrimmage. Obviously, the offensive line got whipped. Seattle's offensive line whipped the Jaguar D-line for the most part. Sam Darnold had a lot of time back there. They would have run the ball enough with Ken Walker and Charbonnet and their running game. So, I mean, the Jaguar coaching staff, I'm sure they're meeting tonight, and certainly they'll have that team meeting tomorrow. What do you say to the guys when you get physically whipped up front?
Well, I mean, it's all part of developing a team and the process of winning and becoming a championship team. You know, you have to address these issues and say this is not good enough. And you have to, in the NFL, to win, you have to be consistent, and you can't find ways. And tripping over yourself is not a winning way. But like Leon said, it's the pride. You know, they hurt our feelings. When your offensive line doesn't play that way, you know, the way you anticipate. And then next week, you got to play against a good defensive front.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You know, and they're a 3-4 as well. So they didn't meet the challenge this week that, you know, and say, hey, they're the number 3, you know, against the rush. We're going to beat them. That's what you look forward to as an offensive lineman, to say we're going to beat the best, okay, because that puts us even further. We don't want to go backwards, so we went backwards today, and that hurts your feelings. So this week we got to do the same thing and meet the challenge of the Rams' defensive front and say, we didn't get it done last week, but we sure as hell we're going to get it done this week. No matter what the score is, okay, that offensive line, just like he said, it rolls downhill, okay? I'm going to get after you, and we're going to find a way to win this game because we're going to hit somebody in the mouth no matter what the score is, but people are going to know we did.
Let's get 2 more callers in tonight, and then we'll start previewing that Rams matchup. Let's go to Jacksonville Beach. Let's get Scotty in here on 1010XL on the 5th quarter. Scotty, what's going on?
Hey, sorry about earlier. I just want to say I'm really upset about these penalties. I feel like we've got to get it going on. I know there was practice like earlier in the year that they had like just strictly about penalties, and they're still blowing it. That's got to get corrected. I know the offensive line was bad, but some of these balls that Trevor was throwing just seemed like they were just uncatchable. They were too high or too low, just a little bit out. And I'm kind of curious if Jimmy Gladstone, do you guys ever think that he would be curious about moving him for some picks? Take my
Moving
comments off
Trevor?
there.
Scotty, moving Trevor?
Yeah.
All right, appreciate the call. So now the callers have wanted to cut Brian Thomas Jr. and trade Trevor Lawrence. I mean, what an amazing hour this has been here on the fifth quarter. No. Now, look, if we're having a conversation next year about this, or certainly in 2027, well, then I think at that point maybe we won't kid because we care. They're not trading Trevor Lawrence. Again, Trevor Lawrence was the talk of the town 7 hours ago after that Kansas City game, and now all of a sudden they lose the game to Seattle because he gets sacked 7 times because the offensive line couldn't block me today, and people are up in arms. I thought Trevor, under the circumstances, played average. I won't say he played well, but I don't necessarily think they lost the game because of Trevor Lawrence's performance today. Leon, am I wrong about that?
No, you're not wrong. But listen, in this business, you go from the penthouse to the outhouse real quick.
Holy cow.
Yeah, yes, you can. But, you look at Monday, and caller, I'm not trying to get on you on this in any way. Okay, now, if it's a really bad ball, go ahead and call that out. But if you want to look at Mahomes' balls on Monday, not all of them were perfect. And there were balls thrown into coverage, and the receivers are making the plays. There are receivers jumping up and making the plays. That's what you get paid to do in the NFL. They're not going to all be perfect plays, okay? But that's football. So if you're going to be critical of him, you might as well be critical of the other guy as well.
You know it gets serious when the coach starts pounding his fist on the table. Absolutely. Scotty, appreciate the call. Don't get me wrong, but they're not trading Trevor Lawrence, at least for the foreseeable future. All right, final call of the night. We'll end with Walter out in Orange Park. Walter, you're on 1010XL. What's happening?
Thank you for taking the call. During the game, one of the announcers on Fox commented about Trevor's footwork. He's not what you would call, to me, a pinpoint passer. I thought the coaching staff had addressed that issue about his footwork. I'll take the comments off.
Walter, appreciate it. I think they have. They just didn't foreshadow 33 pressures and 7 sacks. I think anybody's footwork is going to get disrupted when you simply are getting hit every play. I mean, Leon, what's your thought there? Because I think it was Schlereth that did talk about the footwork during the broadcast.
Yeah, he did. He talked about the footwork and some of the errant throws that Trevor made. But, he was constantly pressured. And sometimes you have a tendency to go back to old habits when things ain't working up right for you up front. So I can't blame. Listen, his footwork had a lot to do more with the offensive line lack of protection. Yeah. So that's what I look at. If he's got a clean pocket, I think he goes about his business as handling, his technique and fundamentals. But when you got constant pressure on you, man, you just kind of revert to your old habits sometimes.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
and
Coach.
Trevor is an ongoing process for Liam. You know what I mean? He's working with him, and, the consistency that Liam has to deal with in him. Trevor's going to be Trevor. He's either going to be good or he's going to be off, good and off. So you never know what he's going to be from play to play. But he's working with him. He's still 10 times better than he has been in the past, and it's an ongoing process.
I want to make sure we have enough time to preview the Rams game before we get there. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we do give you an injury update. It is brought to you by Farah and Farah. And RJ, let's do it right now. The Farah and Farah injury update.
The personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah present this injury update. Farah and Farah,
Jacksonville,
exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, they obviously missed Britton Strange. They obviously missed Robert Hainsey. Neither one of those guys played. Devin Lloyd did play sporadically. Liam Cohen said in the postgame he had some tightness, did not specify what that tightness was, did not play towards the end of the game. Ventrell Miller came in, actually had 6 tackles. So we'll have to keep an eye on Lloyd, certainly. But all things considered, 6 weeks in, the Jaguars are a reasonably healthy football team heading over to London. And we will preview that game next. As we'll come back and we'll put a wrap on this week's edition of the fifth quarter, live from Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco. We're glad you're with us right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
We know what to look for. We go right to the source, the connections. But yeah, we go directly to the source.
Dan and John Lupo at Beard's Diamonds talking about what it means to be a direct diamond importer.
We do a lot of business out of India. We do a lot of business out of Antwerp, Belgium, Israel, Africa as well. We will do whatever it takes to get the stone that the customer wants at the best price guaranteed.
So every diamond at Beard's is hand-picked and brought in with no third-party markups. And so with no commission salespeople and no Wall Street quotas, Beard's can price every diamond for less.
If they've been shopping, which we encourage, and then come to us, and they're kind of, at first, they're like, oh, why is this $5,000 or $7,000 less?
Best value guarantee, best selection guarantee, best experience, bar none, guaranteed. From Jacksonville's locally owned Diamond Powerhouse.
The family, the relaxed atmosphere, and we're there for each other.
It gives us a big advantage being local, and we love Jacksonville. The money stays in Jacksonville, by the way.
Beard's Diamonds in St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Carolina Jack's in historic Riverside has been named Best Burger in Jacksonville for 5 years in a row. They serve fresh, certified Angus beef smash burgers on locally baked buns with Florida fresh produce. Try favorites like the Riverside or a bacon cheddar. They have weekday lunch specials from 11 to 2 and open Sundays for pregame or postgame. Carolina Jack's is where it's at.
Frank Franzi here for Coyle Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in '96? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle Fencing. Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida since 1927. Heck, Coyle has been installing fences since before Emery Ballard installed the wishbone offense. If you need a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle Fence today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Join me, Max Fink, as I keep a close eye on everything that happens in Gator Nation.
The Gator Report, polished up by San Jose Collision, on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators!
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're gonna love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler.
I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Putting an extra 60 minutes on the clock. The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. From Hurricane Grill and Wings, San Marco. Nailed down by Apex Roofing and Contracting on 1010XL.
All right, wrapping things up on this edition of the fifth quarter. Thank you to Hurricane Grill and Wings here in the heart of San Marco, 1615 Hendricks Avenue, for having us out tonight. All right, here's the way, Leon, I'm looking at this game on Sunday against the Rams. You're 4-2. If you beat the Rams, you're 5-2 going into the bye. This game will be easily forgotten. This city will be pumped at 5-2 for the next 2 weeks going into the bye. If you lose to the Rams, you go into the bye with a 2-game losing streak. You went from 4-1 to 4-3, and people will be petrified that it's the same old Jaguars. You want to talk about a crossroads game early in the season for Jacksonville? I think that is exactly what they have at Wembley Stadium next Sunday.
Yeah, you got to win this game. Offensively, just to get the bad taste out of your mouth. I mean, because you underperformed, you underwhelmed against this game against the Seattle Seahawks team. And, I mean, if you can't get amped, listen, you got to get amped for this game like you did Patrick Mahomes, because Matthew Stafford he ain't no joke.
No.
Absolutely no joke. You're going to have to play with the same energy and the same effort and the same tenacity that you played with against Patrick Mahomes, or he will dissect you. So if there's any point of emphasis, this team getting up for a game, because we seem to get up for the games that matter, so to say, you got to get up for this game the way you got up for KC.
Here's the crazy thing from a coaching perspective. There is not a person outside of Les Snead and Sean McVay that know the Rams roster better than James Gladstone. Cohen and Sean McVay know each other. Cohen knows Sean knows Liam. The dynamic, Gerald Ingram, of that relationship, and particularly Gladstone knowing the strengths and weaknesses of all those players, Sean McVay knowing how Liam Cohen likes to do things, that's going to be fascinating next week.
No, that'll be good. I mean, the strategic part is good, but as Leon said, let's get up and play. That's the most important thing. Yeah, they're going to put themselves in position. They're going to put the skill guys in position. They're going to know who does what, who does this. Now the players got to do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what we got to see and we didn't see.
All right, so let's begin with Coach. Final thoughts today and, your early thought on London. You'll be on with me, Hacker After Dark, tomorrow night, but what's an early thought from you next Sunday?
For next Sunday, I think it's a winnable game. They're struggling. We're struggling 1 week. And we have same opportunity to win that game. I think if we just punch them in the mouth and meet the challenge and run the ball and play action and push the ball up the field, I think we got a good shot to win. We have to pressure. We have to pressure that quarterback.
Leon, you'll be on prime time every day this week. I'll have you on Hacker After Dark Wednesday night, and you and I will be right back here on Sunday on the fifth quarter, live from the 1010XL studios. It will be an early fifth quarter, obviously, with a 9:30 kick. What is your early thought on the Rams next Sunday in London?
Well, I mean, you got rise to the occasion. This team was very underwhelming today against Seattle, especially offensively. Got to get in some kind of rhythm. Got to run the ball. You got to do a better job protecting. You got to do a better job of meeting the physicality, because I know if the Rams are watching this film, they're looking at the offensive line as soft. All right, there's no other way to put it. They're looking at the offensive line as soft, that we got clear-cut advantages here, and there. The only way the offensive line is going to change the narrative of them of being labeled like that is that they got to come out and be the physical bunch that they were the first 5 games instead of what they were today.
Well, Leon, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, baby.
Gerald Ingram, appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Love being here.
The Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, the Coach Gerald Ingram, I'm the Hacker Ryan Green. Thank you to Trent Osborne, our on-site engineer. RJ Saunders made it happen back at World Headquarters. This has been the Window World of Northeast Florida. Fifth quarter, we have been presented by Apex Roofing and Contracting. Of course, we have been live. Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco. Always appreciate the great folks at Hurricanes for having us out. Jeff Prosser will be on air tomorrow at 6 a.m., and we will start 16 hours of local programming. I'll be joining you tomorrow night, Hacker After Dark, beginning at 8 o'clock, and we certainly hope that you tune in all day to 1010XL and to 92.5 FM. Until then, have a very good Sunday night, Jacksonville.